part. Someone's in despair this day. Have you prayed from the heart? So many are trying to find their way. They need the light, you know, for our prayer of love. It lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Have you spoken the word today? Did you give your all in prayer? The world's in need of what you say. Did you answer the call and pray? So many are seeking the way to go, and they need the light, you know, for our prayer of love. It lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. You are the place you need to start. Throw open your mind and use your heart. Don't waste the time, don't delay. So many are in need of a prayer this day. Someone needs a prayer today. Have you done your part? Someone's in despair this day. Have you prayed from the heart? Listen to the Spirit telling you to heed its holy call for our prayer of love. It lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high, it heals them, sustains them, and sets them free.
Hello and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa virtual service. I am Edward Fillion and I welcome you, especially if you are joining us for the very first time. Typically, if you were with us at the center, we would bring you a pamphlet with more information about who we are and what we teach. You can still find out a lot about our center by visiting our newly redesigned and easy to navigate website at www.cslsr.org. Our music today is brought to us by Christopher Fritchie, Faith Rivera, and Karen Drucker. We're so grateful to them. And our prayer is given to us by our choir director, practitioner Claire Victor. And then she will also read today's affirmation with us. At the Center for Spiritual Living, we are motivated by a vision of a healthy, loving world. We call that vision the Global Vision, and each month we read a portion of the vision so that we can remember what is guiding us. Please join me in reading this month's portion. We see a world in which there is a renewed emphasis on beauty, nature, creativity, art, and aesthetics. At the end of today's service, we have a special slideshow of photos of our assistant minister, Reverend Joyce Dufala. And you might ask, why are we showing slides of Reverend Joyce? Well, if you haven't heard yet, she retired yesterday from her position as assistant minister. She'll still be in our community as a volunteer minister, but after all these 16 years of service, she's taking a well-deserved step back from full-time ministry. There is a beautiful tribute to Reverend Joyce Dufala on our Facebook page, and it's written by Jennifer Mann, Practitioner Emeritus. It is time for us now to shift our attention inward. So wherever you are watching from, if you're watching on Zoom or on Facebook, in your living room or in your bedroom, I invite you to put aside all other activity and begin to let your body become still. And as we do that together, the mind and the emotions and all of our systems can settle down to be available to the message and the music and the meditation and the prayer, because somewhere in between all of that is exactly what your heart is seeking for the next logical step of its spiritual evolution journey. So welcome, and please enjoy these next few moments of silent meditation.
So I'd like to invite you to just take a breath and settle in, and if it's comfortable to close your eyes, please do so. There is one life. That life is God. Whether we call it love or joy, beloved, spirit, essence of genius, you are that creative source that is in and through all of life. You are the only thing happening. Whether it is the harmony and the balance in nature that's around us, that's calling in the beauty of the flowers to grow, or whether it's the intelligence of the birds who are nesting and gathering everything they need for a safe home, for regeneration to occur, you are it. And so I am a place where it shows up. I am a place where God lives and moves and has its being. Each one of us is an expression of this divine presence. We are surely gifted in so much abundance by the beauty and the grace that God is. So I just claim and affirm a shift in consciousness to know that this service today is a gift. It is a time for us to come together and to feel the connection, the deep connection of spiritual community. And whether it's the music or the spoken word or the announcements, there is something here for each one of us. There's something that drew us here, like a magnet for our good, to drop into, to let go, to breathe in, to pick up what is ours to pick up, and to let go of what's ours to let go of. For there is that community connection that this Center for Spiritual Living gives us, that deepens our faith, that calls us back into alignment with harmony, with balance, with peace. So whatever reason you showed up today, I just claim that there is that here. And I open myself to avail it in myself for you, for and about each one of us. So I'm giving thanks for all that make this service possible, for the teachers who are virtually in classrooms with our students, for the tech people who put this together, and for the musicians and the speaker and everyone else, and especially you for showing up. I feel this gratitude, I feel this shower of blessings that we have for each other and with each other. And I release this word into the law to let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Hello, I'm Claire Victor, a licensed prayer practitioner here at the Center, and I'd like to invite you to read with me today's affirmation from our Beyond 2020 Spiritual Vision Affirmations book. I accept the fullness of life. My days are filled with opportunities to share my joy. I am alive with the power of giving, and so it is.
Every morning, the light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. And every day, I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. But now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Each day I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk every morning brings a new beginning. By grace another day to be. I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. Things that I sought and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. And now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Of yesterday I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the less than that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Today is the day I walk away.
Aloha. I'm Reverend Dr. Peggy Price, and I'm so happy to be with you this morning. I'm coming to you from the beautiful garden aisle of Kauai and from my home. So welcome to my ohana and to my hale. We say e komo mai, welcome. I'm so honored to be with you this morning. And in actuality, I was supposed to be there with you this morning. And some of you were supposed to be here right now. But as John Lennon once said, life is what happens when you're making other plans. So here we are. And thanks to the incredible technology we have today, you get to come into my home and I get to come into yours. And that's a real treat for me. And I hope it will be for you. I'm so honored that Dr. Edward invited me today, and especially because the month of May, the topic of the month of May is Listen to Your Heart. And the title for today's talk is Your Soul Purpose. Both of those topics are really dear and near to me. So I'm glad to be sharing them today with you. So if we're going to ask what is your soul's purpose, do you know what it is? And if not, would you like to know how to figure it out? Well, let's define terms, first of all. And let's start with the word soul. You know, in Science of Mind, we talk about the threefold nature of God, the spirit, soul, and body. And the soul, in that case, is like the medium into which our thoughts go as we go through the creative process. But as we think about soul in terms of our own being, then the really good defining term that I like a lot is your eternal essence. Your eternal essence. That which you have always been, are now, and will always be. And that eternal essence never changes. And that is where we discover who we really are. And then we want to look at the word purpose. And again, we need a definition for that. So I like the words of the theologian Frederick Buechner. And he says this: purpose is the place where your deep gladness meets the world's needs. Where your deep gladness meets the world's needs. Another way of asking that question is, what brings me joy? What brings me joy? And I would imagine all of you can think of some things that bring you joy right now. I have a whole list of them myself. What brings me joy is being with my husband. And even during all of this time of stay at home, we have really enjoyed being together, being with our family and our friends, having opportunities to do creative projects. I love doing things that are creative. And I love ministry, and ministry brings me joy. And even though now I'm supposedly rewired, I don't like to say retired because it has the word tired in it, I'm still practicing my ministry in my own way from this beautiful place. Here we have a beautiful Center for Spiritual Living, Kauai, and I get to participate as their emeritus minister, and I love being able to do that. So we know that then our soul, our eternal essence, and our purpose is that where our deep gladness meets the world's needs. So that's a good place to start. But let's explore a little bit more about what it means and what it is to find that purpose. Thomas Merton, the wonderful monk and mystic and teacher, said, "If you want to identify me, ask me not where I live or what I like to eat or how I comb my hair, but ask me what I'm living for in detail. Ask me what I think is keeping me from living fully for the thing I want to live for." So he looks at the two sides of that. Not only those things that he's living for, but the things that keep him from living those things. And we'll address that part of it a little bit later, but right now I just want to focus on our purpose. You know, you might find your purpose in those moments that I think we all have, where we have that thought, for this, I was born. We have those moments where we recognize that something we're doing in that moment right now is because you are here now at this time. My first minister and teacher in Science of Mind was Dr. Peggy Bassett. And she used to say, our purpose here is to express God, that we are all in the expressing God business. So how do we show up and express God? How do we do that? And what is it for you when you've had one of those moments? I'm going to share one of the most significant ones, and I've had a number of them, but this one had particularly deep meaning to me. I was about to celebrate my 60th birthday. So this was in July of the year I celebrated my 60th birthday. You can guess that, how far back that was. But 2 days before my birthday, I pick up the phone to hear the voice of a young mother who was grieving the loss of her 5-year-old daughter. I had been following her story because it had been on the news, and I had been praying for her. And I'd been praying for her also when they found her child after it had gone missing. She had gone missing. And I had deeply yearned to reach out to her, but I didn't know how. But I was praying for her. And I felt this incredible connection. And here she was on the other end of the phone. And I asked her how she knew about me. And she said that the sheriff of Orange County had recommended me because she had told him that she was a Buddhist and that she was grieving her daughter, of course, but she knew that also her neighbors were grieving, and her neighbors were of many different religions. And so she wanted to be sure that the person who gave her daughter's eulogy would be able to touch on more than one belief system. And the sheriff knew that I did that kind of work. And so there we were. And so I took a deep breath and I told her I would be honored. And after meeting with her and sitting in little Samantha's bedroom with the cat purring on the bed as though she had never left, and looking at her artwork and her letters that she had written that were so prophetic, and the numbers of times she had written the words, "Be brave." This beautiful child who had been taken from us in such a horrific way was going to be honored at the Crystal Cathedral, and it was televised worldwide. And so it was a daunting task, and it was certainly not one that I would have solicited. I wouldn't have even known how. But somehow Spirit put me together with this mother, this beautiful, loving mother who was so brokenhearted. And so we did the service to a grieving, brokenhearted community. Everyone had fallen in love with this little child, and we were there to honor her life, and I was there to offer comfort. But it was in those moments where I had that feeling of, for this I was born, that this was part of my soul's purpose, that this was the reason why, even as a small child, I wanted to be a minister. Since that time, I've had many ups and downs, including the death of my own son. But every memorial or funeral that I have been asked to do since then, I have thought about the deep, sacred honor it is to serve families at a time of loss, and how my full heart would go into every single service, knowing that those experiences of loss required tender comfort and a really deep understanding of who that person was. I don't live in sadness or morbidity, but I do know that part of my soul's purpose is to serve as a comforter in times of need. Sometimes our soul's purpose shows up in other ways. So it's important to keep in mind that our work may not define our soul's purpose, but our soul's purpose can define our work. Does that make sense? That it isn't about being defined by the job we do, but it's about applying that purpose, that heartfelt experience to whatever our work is. Does that make sense? And there are a lot of ways in which our soul's purpose shows up. It's not just in our work, it's in our relationships, it's in our family life, it's the way we treat Mother Earth, it's the way we treat one another. I just saw recently on TV a story about a man named Gabe. He was a worker in a Lysol factory. Okay, chuckle, it's okay for this moment. He was a worker in a Lysol factory, and he'd been there for 24 years. And a few weeks ago, he came home from work, and his daughter was waiting for him. And his daughter said to him that she'd been watching the news coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that the manufacturing of Lysol disinfectant spray was literally saving the world. Now, Gabe had never thought about his job as something that would be saving the world. But there was a change in the way he viewed his work. And there was a change when he went back to work and shared with his coworkers what his daughter had said. That by our being here in this factory making this disinfectant spray, we are saving the world. Just a different way of seeing things. There was another story of a nurse, an ICU nurse, that she was under contract to a hospital, as many nurses are right now. And on her first day at the ICU, where she was assigned at this hospital, she had a new patient, a new admission. And she was getting his room set up and putting all of the different monitors on him and doing all of the work that a nurse does at a time like that. And that this young man looked up at her with eyes filled with tears and said to her, "Am I going to be all right?" And she took a deep breath and looked at him and she said, "Yeah, you're going to be all right." Well, the next day when she got back to work, it turned out that he had been put on a ventilator. And she was crestfallen. She felt as though she hadn't kept her word with him that he would be all right. And he stayed on that ventilator for a long time. And on the last day of her contract, she went back into the hospital to find that he had been taken off the ventilator and was now recovering in ICU. And so she went to see him. And she told him how sorry she was that she had told him that he would be all right. And he looked up at her and he smiled and he said, "But I am. I am all right. You did tell me, and I am all right." And in that moment, she realized the importance of the work she was doing and that sense of fulfillment, that she was really also living her soul's purpose at that time. So we don't ever know really how this shows up, where it is that we will have those moments, where it is where we will really feel ourselves aligned with our own true nature, aligned with our own essence, that eternal essence of who we are. Orion Mountain Dreamer writes, "It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dream of meeting your heart's longing, what you ache for, what you dream of when you are meeting your heart's longing, what is your heart's longing?" I believe it's to live a fulfilling life. I believe it is to express God. I believe it is to express love in all that we do. Love for our higher power, love for our friends, our family, for others, for our neighbors, and love for ourselves. All of that is important, and all of that is part of our soul's purpose. There's another story that I'd like to share. It's an old story, but it's about how we can see our work in a different light. You've probably heard it before. The story of a man who was walking past a construction site. And there were 3 men working, and one was digging a ditch, and one was cutting stone, and one was laying bricks. And so the man walked up to the first person and said to him, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Can't you see? I'm earning my wages." The man said, "Oh, okay." He goes on to the next man, and he says, "What are you doing?" And the man says, "Can't you see I'm cutting stone?" The man nods and goes on, and he goes to the third man, and he says, "What are you doing?" And the man says, "I'm building a cathedral." What a difference in perception. All on the same site, all working toward the same end, and yet one of the 3 had a vision. He was building a cathedral. What kind of cathedral are you building? Figuratively speaking, are you building a cathedral based on your soul's purpose, on your eternal essence, on who you really are? And do you know when you're off purpose? Because I know when I am. I know that I feel a great sense of discomfort, that something isn't jiving with who I am in that moment. It can be all kinds of things. It can be just when I'm procrastinating and doing something I really don't need to be doing, wasting time. It could be when I've been put in a situation where I might be called to compromise and I feel great discomfort and don't want to do that. What I find is my criteria is that when I'm asked to do something and my heart leaps and says, yes, I know it's mine to do. And when I have other feelings in my intuition about it, I either think about it for a while or say no. Because I know that part of living my soul's purpose is to stay in integrity with who I am and what I believe in and how I want to show up in the world and the legacy that I want to leave behind. And I do want it to be a legacy of love and expressing God and showing up as me with my own unique talents. And each of us has our own unique talents. Everyone does. We're all gifted and we're all here now. We're all here now because for this we were born, to be on the planet at this time, in this fashion, whether we are one of the people staying at home or whether we're out there doing some of the work that needs to be done. But if you're delivering mail, you're connecting people to the world. If you're cooking food for hungry people, Look what you're doing. You're feeding the world. If you're tending to a garden, you're helping Mother Earth. There are so many different ways in which we show up at a time like this, and we are called to do things from our heart. And people, like I just read of some people that shut down their restaurant, but kept cooking. And now they're giving away meals to people who are hungry. They're fulfilling their soul's purpose, aren't they? There are all kinds of ways we can do that. And when we know that we're off purpose, we can recognize that too. My husband plays ukulele, and I love that he does. He's a good musician, and I enjoy his music. But when I saw this quote from the poet Tagore, the Indian poet Tagore, I loved it because I know that I have this really great ability to procrastinate. I think I'm a master at it. And then I read this, and it was one of those times where I got pierced by this quote. I have spent my days stringing and unstringing my instrument while the song I came to sing remains unsung. The song I came to sing remains unsung. Even today, preparing for this message, I found myself figuratively stringing and unstringing my instrument, getting all wrapped up in the technology. And I finally broke through, and here I am, and I'm singing my song to you. Each of us has a song, perhaps not in a literal sense, but in the sense that we have something noble and beautiful within us, and all of us do. At times like these, we can get into the depressing news every day, or we can choose to bring hope and light and joy into the world. It's up to us. We can dig a ditch, or we can build a cathedral. We can comfort those in need, or we can crawl into a dark corner. It's all up to us. It's all up to us. So when we listen to our heart, to the still small voice, we are connecting with our higher wisdom selves, with God, Spirit, and we find our guidance. And above all, we must believe in ourselves. We must believe in ourselves. You are not here by accident. And as long as you are here, find your joy and gladness and bring it to the world. So now I'd like to have you join with me in a spiritual mind treatment, which is the form of affirmative and effective prayer that we practice in Science of Mind. And I want to begin by remembering my practitioner for many years who absolutely lived her soul's purpose, Pauline Clow. And she would often start our prayer sessions with these beautiful words, and I want to share them with you now as we go into prayer. Let us move into the tabernacle of our heart. And to know that right there, right here, in the tabernacle of our heart, is that power and presence of Spirit, of God, of life, of light, of wisdom, of energy. It is the divine essence. It is the eternal essence of who we are. For each of us is a unique and individualized expression of God. And so joining in that knowledge and joining in that presence and power of life and knowing that that is who we each are, I speak my word for us at this time. And I know that as we do this, as we vibrate at the energy of the divine in this beautiful space of spirit, of life, unfolding, we make that discovery of our eternal essence. We discover that which brings us gladness and joy, and we take it out into the world as though it were a candle and we were shining its light, our light, my light, this light, our collective light into the world. And knowing that right now, no matter what might be going on in our lives, in this moment, whether it be a challenge financially, knowing that there is always the abundant good of God, and that leaning upon that sustaining infinite presence, all our needs are met today and every day by that divine presence. And for those facing any physical challenges, health or otherwise, that divine healer, that energy of the Christ is living and moving and having its being in and through each one of us, revealing that divine pattern of perfection, returning and restoring us to wholeness, and knowing that this eternal life that we experience is a life that is always whole, always perfect, always complete. And should we be facing any issues in relationship, we also know that we have a relationship with the One. And that relationship is perfect. And that relationship is outpictured in the love that we express through that inner power and inner strength, through our inner wisdom and our inner discernment to know what is the right thing to do in any given relationship at the right and perfect time. And to know that love always prevails above all else. And to know that the peace that passes understanding is that peace that is indwelling us now, that is enfolding us now, and that as we attain it and touch it and feel it, we also spread it around the world. For wherever we show up as peace, peace also shows up around us. It is like ripples in a pond. That I know that right where we are right now, whatever we might be going through, that presence of God is there, ever guiding us, ever leading us, ever enfolding us in its grace and goodness. And so knowing this, I give thanks for this truth and for this day and for all that is in it. And as I do, I release my word into the love and law of the One, knowing it is already complete and already done. And I invite you, wherever you may be right now, to join with me in agreement by saying, and so it is. And so mahalo and aloha, and thank you again for letting me come into your home today.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dr. Peggy Price. And now it is time for our offering. Thank you to all who are sending in their regular donations through the mail. We pick them up along with the beautiful messages. I think that's the favorite part of my week, to read what people are sending to us and also the emails of encouragement and gratitude. And thank you for those people who have converted their giving practice to online to keep up with the times. You can visit our website and make a donation on our website portal over at www.cslsr.org, and we would be most grateful if you did, or you can send in a regular check. Our offering music is brought to us by Faith Rivera.
Child of this universe, the ocean dances at my feet, the wind plays a melody through my hair. I am loved at every turn. I am kissed by Mother Earth. Yes, I am a child of this universe. The sun warms me in its embrace. The stars have a light for me in the sky. I am honored by our life. I'm held by Father Time. Every blade of grass every shaking leaf on a tree, every mountain top sings of the glory of God moving through me, moving with me. Yes, I am a child of this universe. Through my breath, all of life can breathe. I plant the seeds with my every dream. I can love at every turn. Give a kiss to Mother Earth, yes. Yes, I am a child of this universe. I greet the God in each face. I am the channel for peace to flow. Oh, I honor all of life. Yes, I'm a one with Father Time. To every blade of grass, to every shaking leaf on a tree, to every mountain top, it sings of the glory of God moving through all, moving as me, moving as you, oh, moving, moving, moving as moving as all.
Hi everyone, I'm William, and it's time for some community announcements. Today is the final day to sign up for summer classes to receive the early bird discount. Otherwise, registration continues until May 17th. We have a great lineup of core curriculum and spiritual enrichment classes that will be provided by Zoom technology. Our youth and family program returns again today and future Sundays using Zoom. There are 2 classes available, one at 10 a.m. for ages 4 to 7 and the other at 11 a.m. for ages 8 to 12. For more information, please contact Susan Robinson, our Youth and Family Ministry Director. Weekly small groups are continuing to meet online. For example, Reverend Sayota Bell is leading the meditation circle called Inviting the Sacred, and there is also an ongoing Science of Mind 12-step group. And Reverend Tara Steele is leading a Time to Sit in Silence. Times and Zoom information is available on our website. Sunday Evening Conversations continues tonight with practitioner Maggie Cole, and her topic is Something's Calling Me a Little Bit Deeper. And all are welcome. If you have questions about an event, check our center's website at www.cslsr.org. It's easy to use, newly redesigned, and updated frequently. The most important part of our community, which is spiritual support, remains strong, although now available online. You can still have one-on-one after-service prayer in our virtual Grinton Chapel. To do that, you must first exit this session and then click on the after-service prayer link on the center's homepage, which will take you to one of our trained prayer practitioners who will be standing by immediately after every Sunday morning service broadcast. If you haven't yet visited our online affirmative prayer, you are in for a treat. You can find it on our website under the Resources tab. You can also search the online affirmative prayer library by specific topic and register to receive email notifications every time a new prayer is posted. And finally, if you've been missing our printed weekly bulletin, you can still access this. It's also located on our website under the Services tab for you to view or even download and print. Thank you for being part of our spiritual community.
Hi, my name is Linda Almeida, and I am your Education Ministry Coordinator here at the Center. I want to make sure you have all the information you need about our upcoming summer classes. We have a wonderful one-stop shop on our homepage at www.cslsr.org. Under upcoming events, click on online class registration to find dates, times, class descriptions, and even a link to our registration page. Please note that all of our summer classes are currently being offered online only. A couple of things I want you to know is that you will not be able to order books through our Stepping Stones bookstore until it reopens. Also, we will not be able to accommodate last-minute registrations. We'll need to know who our students are and what their contact information is in advance so we could send the Zoom link to you before class starts. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at linda.almeida, ALMEIDA, @cslsr.org. Or you can leave me a message at the Center at 707-546-4543, extension 103. I hope you find the right class for you and are able to join us this summer via Zoom. Love and blessings to all of you.
Thank you for joining us today. And don't forget to watch the slideshow photographic tribute to Reverend Joyce DeFalla after the closing song by Karen Drucker. And I look forward to seeing you next week. I'll be here with you. And now, won't you know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, inspired, and protected by a presence that expresses its love through you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence of love within. And so it is.
I am so blessed. That's what we got to remember, huh? I am so blessed. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. Yes, I am so blessed. That's the whole thing. Sing it now. I am so blessed. I am so blessed, so grateful. I am so grateful for all that I have, for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Sing it again. I am so blessed. I am so blessed, grateful. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. Yes, I am so blessed. Now take it into a prayer. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful.